Breaking news from around your world on this Thursday, June 27th, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. The Federal Aviation Administration said in a tweet that it had found a new flaw in Boeing's grounded 737 MAX jets that could delay the return of the once top-selling planes to the air. The FAA said it discovered the potential risk in simulator tests. The regulator did not provide further specifics, but said Boeing must mitigate the problem. Boeing said in a statement it agrees with the FAA's decision and request and is working on the required software. The announcement came more than a month after Boeing completed a software update to the 737's maneuvering characteristics augmentation system called MCAS, which prevents a plane from stalling by pointing the nose down. Both Indonesian Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed within 6 months of each other, killing almost 350 people, and investigators suspect MCAS caused both accidents. Early this month, the FAA said that the plane may also contain improperly manufactured parts, dealing another blow to Boeing. Airlines once hoped they would be able to return the Boeing 737 MAX airliners to service this summer, but the date has been pushed back to later in the year. A Russian passenger plane carrying 46 people crashed while attempting to make an emergency landing in Siberia. Authorities said the plane missed the runway and crashed into a building, killing 2 crew members and injuring 22 others. Russia's state-run TASS news agency reported the Angara Airlines AN-32 aircraft with 42 passengers and 4 crew on board was preparing to land at about 10 a.m. Thursday at Nizhnegarsk Airport when one of its engines failed. The Ministry of Emergency Situations said that on landing, the plane turned around and crashed into a sewage treatment plant. The plane caught fire. Medical services said 22 people were injured, including 7 people who were hospitalized, while 14 others received medical assistance at the crash site. The Eastern Siberian Investigation Department said it opened a criminal investigation into the crash on the grounds that air traffic safety and operations rules may have been violated. A Bosnian man suspected of helping plot attacks that killed 130 people in Paris in 2015 was arrested in Germany. Police said Thursday the 39-year-old man was arrested on a European arrest warrant issued by Belgian authorities. Gunmen attacked several sites in Paris, including the Bataclan Concert Hall, November 13, 2015. The attacks killed 130. Another survivor of the shooting committed suicide in 2017, adding him to the list of victims. No weapons were found on the suspect, who was arrested by special forces of the Federal Criminal Police Office in Germany. He could be extradited and face charges for abetting a terrorist organization in connection with the terror attacks in Paris. German authorities said in a statement, investigations are continuing against him and the other 2 Bosnian nationals. The U.S. Supreme Court delivered its long-awaited ruling on whether the federal government can add a citizenship question to the 2020 census. The justices voted 5-4 to block the Trump administration plan just days before federal officials are set to begin printing materials. In writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts said the court ruled against the citizenship question because there's insufficient grounds to have census takers ask such a question. A separate challenge to the administration's motive for asking the question is still being decided in federal district court. Lower courts had previously blocked the government from asking the question during the census next year. During arguments in April, observers said justices seemed to lean slightly in favor of permitting the citizenship question, which hasn't appeared on any U.S. census since 1950. There are 2 main sides to the controversy: those who say the question will enforce and protect federal voting laws, and opponents who say it would lead to a substantial undercount because an untold number of undocumented migrants would not participate. At least one government estimate suggested an undercount could miss as many as 6.5 million people. The Supreme Court decision came on the last day before the court's summer recess. President Trump is off to join other world leaders at the Group of 20 summit in Osaka, Japan, where tense negotiations are expected on trade disputes, Iran, and other global issues. Trump will meet one-on-one with 8 leaders on the sidelines of the summit, including Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. We're going to be meeting with a lot of people from different countries, many of whom have been taking advantage of the United States, but not so much anymore, Trump said Wednesday as he boarded Marine One to start the trip. Trump said, in fact, not at all anymore. Trump and Xi are aiming to pave the way for getting past sticking points in collapsed negotiations to end their trade war. During the G20 gathering, British Prime Minister Theresa May will meet Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Saturday to discuss the need for de-escalation in the Gulf after tensions rose because of a U.S.-Iran dispute over the country's nuclear deal. May, who is due to step down by the end of next month, will also meet Russian President Vladimir Putin and South African leader Cyril Ramaphosa on Friday. She will meet the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, among others, on Saturday. May's spokeswoman told reporters the PM will take the opportunity to discuss important regional issues with the Crown Prince, including the need for de-escalation of tensions in the Gulf and for all sides to back the process to end the conflict in Yemen. The PM's spokeswoman also added that May would raise the case of the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Indonesian President Joko Widodo Thursday called for unity in the country after the Constitutional Court confirmed his re-election in April's presidential race. A panel of 9 judges dismissed allegations of cheating made by challenger Prabowo Subianto and upheld official results released last month by the General Elections Commission, which showed Widodo had won the race to lead the world's third largest democracy with 55.5% of the votes. Speaking to reporters at an airport in Jakarta prior to departing for the G20 summit in Japan, Widodo said, "I urge all Indonesians to reunite to advance the country." His challenger, Prabowo Subianto, said he accepted the court's decision and urged his supporters to stay calm. The retired general said the court's decision to throw out the opposition's claims that the vote was rigged was very disappointing, but said, "We honor the ruling of the Constitutional Court." The Republican-led Senate Wednesday passed a $4.6 billion bill on addressing a wave of migrants trying to cross the southern border. The legislation clashes with the version already approved by the Democrat-led House. The House vote followed party lines, while the Senate version had bipartisan support and passed 84-8. Senators intensified pressure to get money to agencies handling the humanitarian crisis, making reference to a widely circulated photo of the bodies of a Salvadoran man and his daughter who drowned trying to cross the Rio Grande into the U.S. after they could not get to a border crossing to request asylum. The House and Senate bills would provide roughly the same amount of money, but the House bill puts tighter restrictions on how the Trump administration can spend the funds. France's National Weather Service issued its highest-level danger alert Thursday as it warned that parts of the country could expect temperatures to reach an exceptional peak Friday amid a record-setting heat wave in Europe. Meteo France raised the hazardous weather warning to red, the highest level for the Marseille and Montpellier areas in southeastern France, forecasting hazardous temperatures of 42 to 45 degrees Celsius, which is 107 to 113 Fahrenheit, on Friday. It was the first red alert Meteo France activated since a 4-level weather vigilance system was introduced following an estimated 15,000 heat-related deaths in France during a heat wave in 2003. The Italian health ministry said 7 cities, including Florence, Rome, and Turin, were already at Italy's highest heat warning level Thursday. On Friday, 16 cities will be under alerts for high temperatures. Amid the blistering weather in Europe, hundreds of firefighters struggled to contain a 50,000-acre wildfire in northeastern Spain that forced the evacuation of dozens of residents from their homes. And that's your update for this Thursday, June 27th, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Wonderful day.